How's it going, guys? I happen to have a standard match for you. It's a little bit of a longer one against a guy by the name of Kollin7. Now, the one thing I do want to bring to your attention before we begin is that only 2 of his team members, Celebi and Keldeo, are affected by toxic spikes. This is relevant because this entire team kind of revolves around the one Gengar in the second spot, which I think is one of the only Pokemon, if not the only Pokemon in the game, to get both Hex and Venoshock, which both benefit from the opponent being poisoned. Now, the problem with this is that Landorus doesn't even touch the ground, being flying type. Latios doesn't even touch the ground because he levitates. Heatran and Scizor aren't even affected by it. So right off the bat, the less things that can get poisoned, the less work that this Gengar can do. I just brought Donphan just for spin. Do I really have 2 rapid spinners? I'm just noticing that on this team right now. How stupid is that? Whatever. I don't know. I probably should have subbed Donphan for something else. I feel like that was kind of a wasted slot, but whatever. What else did I have? I had Staraptor, Magnezone, and Braylon. We'll see them as they come in. But on this first turn, I was pretty sure that he was not going to Earthquake on the first turn. I rarely see anyone do that. I thought we were just going to exchange hazards on the first turn, and then he would go for the Earthquake. But it turns out he just hard switches out to Celebi, and I thought right here, I wasn't trying to resist a Psychic. I had this impulse for some reason. I was like, he's gonna be that guy that has the T-Wave Celebi. So I go into something to take the T-Wave. I might as well have it be Magnezone. I think it is one of my slowest dudes on this team, if not the slowest dude besides Tentacruel. So I was like, might as well do that. So I think I have a decent amount of speed investment on that Magnezone, which is a pity, but Magnezone doesn't mind being terribly slow. You know, it just really depends on the matchup. But he ends up switching out into his Landorus, I believe, as I switch in my Staraptor. Or he U-turns out to his Landorus. Now, I U-turn on this turn as he gets his rocks up. I have 2 spinners. I did not realize this at the time, but because I have 2 spinners, these rocks aren't going to be a big nuisance. So I decide to sub on this turn, even though the switch to Heatran is going to be fairly obvious. I do have the Focus Blast, which is not that bad. We learn on the coming turns that he actually does not happen to be a special defensive variant. I don't keep the HP code on during battle, although I do battle on Desmi Real Wi-Fi, because that's just not fucking fair at all. Which is why I turn it on afterwards. So you can see by the HP number that he is not max HP. I did not know this at the time, but because of the fact that I go for the Shadow, or not the Shadow Ball, the Focus Blast, and it does that much damage, and, well, it's going to break the sub regardless. It's going to do at least 25%. But we also see right here that he's a Life Orb variant, so that is the red flag before we see the HP number. But I decide to sub up right here on the off chance that if he misses a Fire Blast, I can probably just take him out next turn with an unboosted Hex. I know it is only like base 50-something power, but he's not special defensive at all, and I should be able to take him out from like 11-12%, something like that. I'm hoping that it would have done the job. But he does end up hitting it. Now that he's at 5 HP, you know, less than 10% for sure, I can just clean him out with a Hex. So, kind of silly. Hex's base power doubles when you're hitting something that has a status condition on it. Venoshock's base power doubles when you're hitting something that's poison. So, if the status condition happens to be poison, you are good to go on that thing. But you do need support against steel types because, you know, you got the Ghost move and you got the Poison move, and then you have Focus Blast, which is only 70 accuracy. So, don't risk it unless you have to. But the fact that he brings in Latios against Gengar, that is normally a speed tie. So the fact that he brings it in this early in the game like that, he's more than likely Scarfed. I really wanted to go for the HP Ice here. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just ended up going for the T-Bolt for... No, a double switch. Okay. HP Ice, if I went for HP Ice right there, that would have made this so much easier. I wouldn't have had to worry about that Landorus. I don't know why I didn't think about it. I guess I was just still kind of fearing Expert Belt, except for the fact that the Latios thing was somewhat obvious. But this is not the worst play in the world either, because I can just go for a Brave Bird, and the fact that I came in after the Landorus came in means that I'm not intimidated, meaning that that takes off a huge chunk off of this thing. That is probably like 60%. 60, two-thirds easy, just based on that. But he's going to go ahead and switch out, I believe, U-turn into this thing. And he just kind of confirms that he's Scarfed, because I am Scarfed as well. I am, I believe, Scarf Adamant, so he could be Scarf anything in Outspeed me. So congratulations, you're Scarf. Wonderful. Gonna go into Tentacruel right now, and I believe a Rapid Spin to get the rocks away. This is a good turn to do this because my Tentacruel will be able to take a Dragon Pulse very nicely. We do see that he's just the regular poison. If I can bring in Gengar somewhere along these lines, that'll be great. It will more than likely be a sure KO on the Celebi, especially being boosted higher than Shadow Ball normally is, and reasons. I really don't know what else to say about that. Or I could go for the Venoshock, except he still has Scizor around, so I guess Hex is... Some damage on Scizor is better than no damage. So I just end up going out into Magnezone instead for some reason. I don't understand why that is. Probably just because he couldn't get touched by it. He ends up going out into his Landorus, and that's a thing. The fact that I'm paralyzed actually does kind of suck, because I don't know if unparalyzed, what am I trying to say here? If I wasn't paralyzed, whether or not I would be faster than a defensive Landorus. I'm not sure where they stand in their speeds. I know they're both kind of slow, but hey. This switch is really obvious right here. I don't know why I did this. I probably could have afforded to just stay in there and then just go for the HP Ice. I guess I still really needed it for Celebi. But the fact that I went out to my Levitator was just like, oh shit. If Landorus was affected by a condition, that would have been great, because that would have knocked it out. It would have done 80 more. I don't really know how that works, but turns out Hex doesn't really do the job, and the star of the show is dead, so Hex didn't get to do shit. I should really cater a better team around that. Or maybe this was just a really shitty matchup. I really don't know. But I go out into Breloom for some reason on the double. I don't really understand why. But he goes out into Celebi. I think I ended up going for the Spore here foolishly. No. Maybe I did bait that. I think that's what happened. I think I baited out Celebi and I went into Magnezone, which was a decent play. I don't remember whether or not I did that on purpose, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, go me. That was kind of cool. But he can't T-Wave me. All he can really do is U-turn and get out of there. I have more than enough HP to make a sub. U-turn is still going to leave me at the amount of HP where I can make a sub safely. And as long as I don't get paralyzed, I should be good to go for some shenanigans. So he brings in his Keldeo. This thing finally gets poisoned, but Gengar is already dead anyway. I still don't know if he's brought 2 Scarfers or anything like that, but I think this thing happens to be Specs. We'll see that in a little bit. But takes some poison damage, and he does not want to stay in on, account of the fact that I can just knock him out with the T-Bolt. I think I just ended up foolishly going for the... I don't know. Did I go for Flash Cannon? It doesn't matter because I got paralyzed. For all intents and purposes, I'm going to say I predicted that shit and just ended up going for the Flash Cannon, even though I got paralyzed. Get a little brownie points here and there. But I think my hidden power actually does happen to be Ice instead of Fire, which is both good and bad. The fact that I think I have Sub, Charge Beam, T-Bolt. No, maybe I don't have Flash Cannon. I think I have 2 electric moves and an ice move. I really couldn't tell you. I know I have Charge Beam, HP Ice, and Sub. I forget what that 4th move is. But HP Ice is more than enough to take that thing out. You mainly just come in and trap Ferrothorns and use them as setup fodder, and then you just kind of go from there with Bolt Beam coverage, as opposed to just taking it out in one shot. Kind of works against Bandit Scizors that are locked into Bullet Punch as well. But he goes for a Hydro Pump. Holy shit, do you see how much that does to a Tentacruel? That is definitely a Specs Keldeo right there. So what I can do right here is just stay in, protect again, or not protect again, protect, show him that I can Toxic Stall a little bit and just protect on that one. Celebi's still at an obnoxious amount of HP. I'm just going to go for a Surf. I figured I could take another Hydro Pump anyway. I was just trying to chip away at Keldeo. Because with Keldeo around, Donphan still really can't do anything safely, and with Celebi around, Donphan still really can't do anything safely. Wow, Gengar really would have been nice right there. So the fact that I kind of wasted it on that Landorus switching is kind of stupid. But he goes for a Giga Drain on my Protect. I'm just showing him, hey, you're about to get Poison Stalled a little bit. And the fact that we can really see the HP numbers is nice, because we know exactly how much HP they're at. I know that's obvious, but it's not something that ordinarily happens. And it makes it easier to damage calc shit, like whether or not it mattered. I like that code. I like that code a lot. But I can see that he's going to keep going for Giga Drain, so I might as well just go into my Magnezone right here. It's questionable as to whether or not I can take another one, or maybe it isn't. Was there rocks? I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention too much. But I think I feel pretty secure going for a sub at this amount of HP, because I think he's either just going to U-turn to try to prevent me from going for a sub with that amount of HP, or something else. I think if I sub right now... What will I be at? I think I will be at 1 HP, but I did not sub because I'm a huge idiot, and I just end up going for the HP Ice. Even though his Landorus is dead, I probably should have just T-bolted, predicting the switch. So stupid plays everywhere. Now, there is one play right here I don't mind the Swords Dance that much. The fact that I did not do anything, I'm pretty sure at this point that I had T-Bolt, because I remember not being able to go for the T-Bolt on that turn. That would have done a really good chunk to this thing. And that right there is what is going to make my day a lot worse, because I go out into Scizor. I have Surf on this instead of Scald because this thing sets up Toxic Spikes. It's a little redundant to try to get, you know, a burn and then a poison thing at the same time, so I just decide Surf and then Toxic Spikes is what I'm going to do on this thing. But he gets up to +4 and takes me out with a Bug Bite from that range, and I'm like, well, shit. A T-Bolt would have been nice, and we also learned that he is a Life Orb Scizor. So the Tentacruel, me losing the Tentacruel is not really too crucial. It's the fact that I lose this Choice Banded Breloom right here. Because if I'd have gotten T-Bolt damage off, it definitely would have done at least 37 HP. And I still would have had this thing alive near the end game, which is actually going to be a little bit important, as you'll be able to see. And on top of that, he still lives at 3. Fuck, I don't know. But I bring in Donphan right now. I think he went for Roost on this turn, which is why he didn't go for the Bullet Punch, you know, just to try to keep this shit going. Even though I might as well, you know, I might as well try to take him out before he does anything. So, in comes Keldeo. Thank God the rocks aren't on the field, or I didn't have any prior damage, because I will be able to live the Spec Surf on 1 HP, go for an Earthquake, and then Ice Shard on the next turn, because I am a max HP, max attack Donphan instead of max defense. This Earthquake is going to do a little bit more than he's anticipating, and it brings him fairly low. With the poison damage, it's definitely going to help me out to the point where even an unstab Ice Shard is going to take him out at 11 HP, guys. Keldeo is not that bulky. So we get an Ice Shard going on that, and I think all he has left is Latios and Celebi, and I have this Donphan and Magnezone and I believe Breloom. Now this is important because if I still had my Breloom, he chooses to lock himself in on Surf. Oh, noteworthy thing right here, I asked for a crit, and I actually did get it, but it doesn't quite knock him out. Getting the rocks up probably would have been a little bit more important there. Had I switched in my Donphan instead of my Gengar a little earlier, I definitely would have had the opportunity there. But hindsight is always 20/20. If he knocked me out right there, I could have gone out into Breloom, you know, possibly coaxed out the Celebi and then just doubled into Magnezone, that kind of thing. One more poke that resisted water would have been some nice flex room, is what I'm trying to say there. So, hey, that's the end of the game there. I think that was a 2-0 or a 3-0 in his favor. What did I knock out? I knocked out Landorus, Heatran died, Keldeo died, Scizor died, so I think, no, not Keldeo. Okay, Landorus died. Yes, that went down to, what the hell did I kill that with? Magnezone. Celebi did not die. Heatran died to a Hex. Keldeo died to an Ice Shard, and Scizor died to an Ice Shard. So that was a 2-0. God, that para, man. That para really messed me up. So a little bit of a contrast from the Haxie match that was against Tony. This match really only had 1 turn of hacks, but that definitely changed the pace of the game. It was still a really enjoyable one. I just kind of wish the matchup was a little more favorable in Gengar's case. But hey, you know, that's what happens. There's 649 pokes. Not going to do great against all of them. But that was a game. I made some mistakes here and there. I'm not the best, but I still hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. If you did, you're more than welcome to leave a like rating, comment, and subscribe, and definitely do your thing. In case I need to clarify what doing your thing is, it is all of the above. It's a little redundant, but hey, you know, just for those of you that forget to do your thing throughout the day, that is what doing your thing is, in my book. Anyways, that'll do it. I do have TCGO coming up tomorrow, and I'm actually making some new decks this weekend. So expect to see some fresher stuff in your sub boxes as the weeks come along. Live streaming potentially next week. I'm not 100% on that yet, but I will be busy this weekend, so we'll see what happens next week. Anyways, I talked myself into a black screen, so I'm just gonna go. Bye.